Ever wonder why rappers being murked now is seen as a regular occurrence? Have you ever wondered that? Do you not see that whenever we hear about a rapper being deleted, for whatever reason it might be, and when I say deleted, I'm talking about deleted, not passing away from natural causes, deleted. Yes, when a rapper gets deleted nowadays, nobody bats an eye. It is because we are now numb to the fact that being a rapper might be a hazardous job. But before we continue with the video, I need y'all to do 3 things for me. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and share this video so somebody else can do the very same thing. And if they don't, we're gonna send them rappers after them. We have had so many occurrences where rappers were deleted, whether they were sitting in their cars, inside of a restaurant eating, driving on the highway, running out of their car on the highway on a foot chase to escape their murderers. We have had so many incidences where rappers are being deleted. And I'm talking about, I believe every year for the past decade, a rapper has been murked. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And I don't have any wings. But no one bats an eye. You don't even think twice about it anymore. See, growing up, I remember rappers like Big L. If you don't know who Big L is, he was one of the most prominent rappers years ago. Yes, I'm giving away my age because if you look him up, you will be able to tell what era he grew up in and when his first album dropped, which I believe was his only album. He didn't get to make any more albums because he was murked on the streets of New York. His case, we're not going to really get into, and we're not going to get into a lot of these cases except for the most recent one. But I just want to paint the narrative for y'all because growing up, we saw rappers being murked back then. It's nothing new. So when it happens now, nobody really says much or thinks about it. Yeah, you give the rappers their flowers for a day or two, and then it's back to business as usual. People just forget them. That's exactly what happens. You might be famous and well-known, rich, you're making money, you're traveling, you're driving the nice cars, but as soon as you get murked, guess what? Your music usually shoots to the top 10 charts and everyone starts listening to you all of a sudden. All of a sudden, they know you. They're showing you love. They're listening to your music. Your music is popping. You get your flowers, but guess what though? It's too late by then. You're gone. It's over. Finito. So now you get those flowers when you can no longer appreciate them. When you're in that ground, you cannot appreciate your flowers, but people appreciate your music for a week or two, and then it's on to the next. They forget about you, and they move on to the next best thing, the next hottest artist. So from Big L to, of course, Pac getting shot on the highway in his car with Suge Knight, that was another tragedy, and that was one of the biggest rappers of our days. But that was another tragedy and another great artist that we lost. And then shortly after that, everybody knows who the next to go was. Biggie Smalls. Yes, when that happened, it was also a tragedy. Of course, they were 2 artists that were beefing with each other. They turned it into a West Coast, East Coast thing. But when it comes down to it, Pac was fire, and so was Big. Even though Big grew up in the city where I'm from, we loved Big, literally to death. But we loved Big. Big was an inspiring rapper who would have been huge. Now, when it comes to everyone's top 10 artists, people will argue and say, well, Big didn't get to put out that much work, which he really didn't, but I tell you, the bodies of work that he did get to put out, the 2 albums he actually released were fire. From the very first one, Ready to Die, to the second, fire. We cannot sleep on those albums. And so when he was deleted, people were sad. It was a sad day in rap. And we mourned him in rap for weeks. He was one of the rappers who got mourned more, got more flowers, if that makes sense to you. And so we mourned him when he was gone. We mourned Pac too. Don't get it wrong. I couldn't believe it when I heard Pac was deleted. I didn't know what to say. I was in shock. And so we did mourn Pac. Pac had a lot of work that he put out, a whole lot of work. So we had a lot of music to listen to when it came to Pac. And to my knowledge, he was putting out more music when he passed away. He had more albums that dropped. Big had one album drop after he passed away. Pac had several after he passed away. And they were just releasing album and singles after singles because he worked so much and he had so much bodies of work. So yes, those two were definitely mourned. And of course, we get to some of the other rappers like Ching's Drugs. He wasn't recent, but he was recent. And he passed away sitting in his vehicle, in his car. He was driving a Porsche in the hood, sitting at a corner store. Now, coming from where I'm from, same spot where Ching's Drugs is from, we know how dangerous it is to be on that bodega corner. We know how dangerous it is to be posted up on the corner. Don't have no beef with no ops because it's dangerous on those streets. It's dangerous on those corners. Don't have any jewelry on. Don't be well known because you will be a lick. If you're standing on that corner, you will be a lick. I don't even care if you're in your own neighborhood. You will be a lick. Now, well, some rappers will say and claim that they can go back to their hood, nothing will happen to them. But you know what? You know what the fun fact is? They always travel with an entourage, which is smart. That's very smart to do. And then it takes us to 50. Now, 50 didn't get murked. 50 didn't get deleted. By the grace of God, that man was so lucky. He got shot what? Famous 9 times. Everybody knows that. And he still survived. He still lived. But he was another rapper who almost made it to the afterlife. And so him making an album about it, it was huge because he survived so many shots. We know that some rappers, most rappers who get shot 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, they're gone. Sometimes they're gone. Now, some of them have survived. Most of them are gone. But to get shot 9 times and still make it, yeah, that was a miracle, and everybody was crazy about that album. Get Rich or Die Trying, crazy about that album. And a lot of it had to do with the fact that he got shot so many times and he made it. He was seen as the biggest gangster ever. And of course, that's what we glorify in hip-hop music. Let's be real about that. That's what we glorify in hip-hop music. Yes, you're going to say you have your positive side of hip-hop. I get it, they do. Which a lot of the radios don't play. A lot of people don't play. You don't hear them playing that type of hip-hop. But of course, the biggest gangsters get the most play. And so we have other artists who were deleted not by chance. They were set up. MO3, that was a more recent one. And he was one of those artists who left a female's house and they believe she made a phone call to somebody who went into his car, took his gun out the glove box or took his gun out of the compartment, the hidden compartment. So they obviously knew him. Whoever did this knew him and they set him up. And that's the reason why when he was on the highway, he jumped out of his car and went to the other side of the car to reach for that gun in that hidden compartment. And guess what? It wasn't there. And once he realized it wasn't there, he took off running. And his assailant took off running after him. Now what happens next? We all know. He did not make it to see the next hour. He did not make it to see the next day. And honestly, I never knew much about MO3. Not his music. I never even heard of him until that happened. And then, of course, again, he was getting his flowers. People listened to his music, and he was popping. So he received his flowers once he passed. I guess that's a way of getting attention, huh? Now, we come to PNB Rock. PNB was a tragedy also. I liked his music. I loved his music. No, I can't say I love this music. I'm not even going to lie to you. There's a few songs that I like of his, but you wouldn't catch me bumping an entire PNB Rock album. I wasn't checking for PNB Rock. He had a single or two that I rocked with, yes, but when I heard about his passing, it was a tragedy as well, and it was actually inside of a restaurant while him and his girlfriend was eating. Now, people tried to blame her. People tried to blame her. They tried to say that she was careless when it came to their location. And she gave out their location unknowingly. She did not know that she was giving out her location because she was posting pictures as they traveled through town. Whenever they got to a location, she would post pictures. That brings me to the topic at hand. Now, a lot of artists don't realize it, but they set themselves up. See, someone doesn't have to set them up. They set themselves up. A perfect example was Pop Smoke. I loved Pop Smoke's music too, but he did a careless thing, just like PNB Rock's girlfriend, as she posted their journey through that hood, through that town, through that city. Oh, people are watching you. People are watching you. If you're a rapper, people are watching you. If you're making money, if you're getting to the bag, people are watching you. If you've got that jewelry around your neck, that iced out jewelry, and you're dripping, people are watching you. And it's not all fans. So why would you post your location? See, that's the problem that I have with rappers now who are careless, because that's exactly what they are. They're being careless. Yes, you're a gangster. I get it. We understand you're a gangster. You think you can survive shots fired. You think you can survive like 50. Yes, you're that strong. You're that big of a gangster. But that's what you think until you get set up. And then you don't make it. You don't make it out of that situation. It is because you are being careless. Now, Pop Smoke was posting pictures online, of course, on his platforms of his journey through LA, through the city, through California, through the state. He was posting pictures wherever he went. And he accidentally posted a picture of a receipt from a gift that he received from a company, from a sponsor. I believe they were a sponsor. Don't let me lie to y'all. But he did receive a gift, and he was posting that gift but the receipt was in the shot. And the receipt had his information on it. Not to mention, when him and his homeboy, they were outside of the house. They rented a house. They were outside of the house, posting, taking pictures in front of the house. What did they do? The number of the house was also seen. See, that was so careless. You're supposed to move better than that. Which brings me to, again, you need to have somebody on your team, right? That can move, that teaches you how to move around and get around the city. That teaches you how to maneuver around strategically, so that you do not get murked. Because getting murked nowadays is a sport. Rappers getting murked is a sport. That's what they see it as. These YNs out here, they don't care anymore. When you tell them that you're going to give them a bag for a rapper's head, guess what they'll do? They'll bring you the rapper's head. And it's so easy because y'all are doing the job for them. They don't even have to follow you. No. They don't have to stake you out. No. You're doing their job for them. You're giving them their information by posting your location and everywhere you go. That is why when you post pictures, you should post pictures conspicuously in places where people do not notice, do not know where you are. They cannot tell. Because, again, another rapper who did not make it and got basically who set himself up was FBG Duck. God rest his soul. He was posting pictures of where he was at, and his ops were watching him. If you know that you have ops out there, right, and they on your ass, they want your head, why wouldn't you move and maneuver strategically? Why are you being so sloppy? Why are you moving around taking pictures of signs, taking pictures of stores, letting people know exactly where it is you are? You have to remember something, right? If I live in the same city as you, I know all of the major landmarks. You know all the major landmarks, and I know all the major landmarks. So if you take a picture somewhere, right, in our city, I know exactly where you're at. If you're in the store, I know exactly where you're at. Because there can only be one or two locations where that store sits, where that store is. So I know exactly where you're at, especially if it's a mall. Most cities only have what? One mall. The most they may have is 3 malls, depending on the size of the city. But at the same time, I can ride around and find you. Those malls are not hard to find at all. So I know exactly where you're at. So FBG Duck, he set himself up. His ops were watching. As soon as they saw the post, they were on his ass. They hopped in their car. They were gone. There's video footage of all of this. They were gone. And in less than 20 minutes, they were on his ass, on his location, and he was deleted because he set himself up. He was moving too sloppy. He was not moving strategically, which is exactly what you have to do, especially if you're a rapper. See, if you have money, you cannot move like regular folk. If you have money, you cannot move like regular people. You need to move strategically. You need to have someone on your team, on your side, who can tell you how to get around any city, who can tell you how to get around any town, who knows surveillance. You need a guy like that. You need someone like that on your team. But a lot of these rappers, they think this is a joke and they think that it's a game when it's not. Because Julio will tell you it ain't a game. He thought it was too. And guess what Julio did? He did the very same thing. Julio was posting on his birthday now. I get it, bruh. You want to celebrate. Yes, you want to show people that you're celebrating. You want people. He was even inviting people on his live. He was inviting people to party with him on his live sessions. Telling people where he was going. Telling people where he was at. Now, if you really think about it, it seems like some of these rappers, they want to be deleted, doesn't it? It seems like they are actually putting their locations out there so that they can be deleted. Because you know you have people looking for you, right? You know that you're beefing. You know that you may have shot and deleted one of your ops mans, one of your ops peoples, or someone on your team did. So they're out for blood. And instead of moving in a smarter way, you move carelessly. You move by telling people exactly where you're at. Knowing that these guys are watching you, knowing that they have females, they're sending females your way, that was really sloppy. So Julio will tell you right now that, oh wait, he can't tell you right now because he met his fate also the very same way that I just described, because he was sloppy with it. He was being careless and he was posting everything. See, the internet will get you in trouble. The internet will get you in trouble, and worse, it will get you murked. By posting your location and everywhere you go, the internet will get you murked. That's why when I post videos, trust and believe, you will never know where I'm at. I will never show you major landmarks. I will never show you house numbers. I will never show you, no. Because I move in a better way. And I don't know if a lot of these rappers stay high. They stay high. They stay drunk. They stay inebriated. You know they're on that lean. You know they're on Molly, X, all those drugs, all those mixtures. So yeah, they're probably not in their right mind. Now that I think about it, they're probably not in their right mind at all. That's why they're moving so carelessly in these streets. And they're posting pictures all high, all messed up, all drunk, unknowingly to the ops that are watching you. They know exactly where you're at, and you're making their job easy for them. Now, the most recent rapper that was murked was Say So P. Say So P. I never even heard of him. See, again, this is another rapper that I never heard of. Some of y'all never heard of him either until just a couple of weeks ago, when he was murked and Sauce Walker was also injured during the altercation because he was also shot. Now, the shooter stood over Sauce Walker allegedly, from what they are saying, and he looked at him and he let him live. The shooter let him live. We're going to run through this tape real quick because as I watched it, I was just shaking my head. Literally, I was just shaking my head. I can't believe they were moving so carelessly. See, again, that word, right? Carelessly. This is how a lot of these rappers move. They think that they are the biggest gangsters and can't be touched. You are not Nino Brown. You're not Nino Brown. I'm sorry to say, you're not in the mafia. You're not a capo. This isn't Godfather. You're not untouchable. Anyone can touch, anyone can get touched. Anyone can touch you. Especially if they put the right bread behind your head. If they put the right bread behind you, oh, it's a wrap. It's over for you. You will have so many hitters out to get you. They will be running drills on you like the Knicks playing Chicago. Straight like that. They will be on you. They will be on your ass like a pit bull on steak. Yes. But let's watch this video real quick, right? As I could not believe how sloppy these guys move, because they could have moved a whole lot better, especially since they had that big-ass Cadillac. That big-ass Cadillac sitting out there. Now, this reminds me of the incident that not too long ago happened with Quando Rondo as well. At the gas station. Sitting at the gas station. Stunting, flexing. See, again, that's what these guys do. They get high, they get drunk, they be stunting, they be flexing, and they forget that their ops are watching them. And now Quando Rondo ended up losing one of his best friends. One of his best friends. He was actually the target, but he ended up losing one of his best friends when his SUV got sprayed up. And that's why I say that this Say So P and Sauce Walker incident reminds me so much of Quando Rondo when he lost his homeboy out in Cali. Yes, we're not going to get into that either. Of course, you know that he's had beef. He's got beef. He was the one who was in the incident with King Von when King Von passed away and lost his life. See, again, another rapper, right? And King Von was actually just now starting to make mainstream. He was just now starting to get to the bag. Oh yeah, he would have been big as well. He would have been big. He was on Dirk's team. He would have been big. Dirk was going to make sure of that. But his life ended shortly after he got into an altercation with Quando Rondo and his people at a club outside. And you can see in the video where they were ready to scrap, but Quando Rondo's people pulled out and it was a wrap. That's all she wrote. King Von was hit and he did not make it to see the next day. Again, another rapper who received his flowers, because right after that, oh, when I tell you, King Von's, his views went up. They skyrocketed. Oh yes, his singles were in the millions. Go check him out now. His singles are in the millions. Oh, he was huge then. He wasn't that big while he was alive, but as soon as he was murked, oh, everybody decided to give him his flowers. They started checking his songs out. They did the very same thing with Pop Smoke. He was not that popular yet. He was not that big. He was getting there. Now, I was on Pop Smoke before a lot of people jumped on him. I was on his music before a lot of people started checking him out. So I heard of him. I knew a single or two, but I didn't know he was that major yet until he passed away. Same thing with King Von. King Von became major as soon as he passed away. Now, if Sauce Walker was to pass away, I guarantee you his music would have been major, because people would have started checking his music out more often. But it goes to say, we have become so numb to these rappers being murked that it's nothing now. Once a rapper is murked, we're just like, okay, let me check his music out. Or you already know of him and you go back years and listen to his first body of work, his second body of work. Because let's be real, a lot of the times we catch up on rappers mid-season. Yeah, we don't often start out with a rapper like on their first song. No, we start out with them like their second album, their third album, mid-season. Yes, depending on how long they last in the industry, we start out with them mid-season. So with Sauce Walker, I don't even know if people would really check for him like that, because it would have been another rapper deleted. Just like Say So P. Honestly, I never heard of him. I don't even know what his music is like. And I still haven't checked out any of his music, because he's just another rapper that's passed, that's gone now. It's not as big as it used to be before, where a rapper gets murdered. It was not a regular occurrence, but now it's like hunting season on rappers, to the point where Jim Jones had came out a couple of years ago and said the most hazardous occupation out there is being a rapper. And he was right, because they were being hunted. It was open season on rappers. And now in the video where Sauce Walker and Say So P were deleted, you can see how they are not paying attention to their surroundings. That is the very first thing that you have to do. You must pay attention to your surroundings. I've always said this. Whatever building you go into, you need to know where the exits are. Never have your back to the exits, and always have a plan in case something pops off. Now, once you step out of that building, again, always be aware of your surroundings. Who's to the left of you? Who's to the right of you? Who's in front of you? How many cars are there? How many cars were there when you went in? See, you got to know all this stuff, and you can't remember any of it. You can't pay attention to any of this stuff when you're what? When you're high, right? When you're drunk, right? When you're messed up out your mind. You can't remember any of that stuff. That's why you move so carelessly. And so once you step out of the building, you need to have your eyes on any vehicles. Now, here's another mistake that they made. Looking at their SUV, they should definitely have someone in the SUV strapped up, ready to go. I'm talking about ready to go. Yes, Frosty. Ready to go, ready to let loose as soon as they sense some type of danger. So as soon as that car pulled up, as soon as that Charger pulled up, guess what? The person who was in that SUV was supposed to roll that window down and start lighting them up. You see what I'm saying? That would have then given Say So P and Sauce Walker some time to reach into the vehicle and grab their straps, or if they had straps on them, to grab theirs and defend themselves. But no one was sitting in that SUV, and if someone was, they were scared as hell, but they were not on go. And again, you see one assailant comes from the left of the SUV. The other one goes where? He goes behind the SUV. He goes to the back of the SUV. See, what they did there was box them in. Oh, these guys aren't stupid. They're not dumb. They boxed them in. I don't know where they got that from. I don't know what movie they seen that in, but they have someone who is telling them exactly how to slide. And that's exactly what they did. They did it according to how it was. And now Say So P and Sauce Walker, they didn't have a way out. No, not to mention they were surprised. They weren't paying attention. They didn't even have a chance to fight back because they weren't paying attention until the very last moment. Now, I wonder how high they were, because moments before then, the night before, they were posting pictures. I'm talking about with the big bills. Yes, they were posting pictures. They were all over the city. They were showing everybody how they get down. They were flexing on the gram for everybody to see. And so their ops seen, and their ops started following you. I guarantee you, they were following their every movement. And then they waited until the perfect time to put their plan into action, and that's exactly what they did. And you also see the third man who got out of the car, right? Out of the right rear side of the car. The third man who got out, guess what? He was the backup plan. See, these guys, I'm telling you, whoever taught these guys is militant. The backup plan is just in case your ass make it through one of the guys, either the one coming from the left or the one coming from the right, going to the rear of the vehicle. If you make it through one of them, the backup is supposed to put you down. So these guys knew exactly what they were doing. But see, Say So P and Sauce Walker were so unobservant and probably out of their minds that they did not see that these guys had the drop on them. Not until they had the drop on them. And it was too late. It was too late. To the point where these men or this man stood on top of you and he could have taken your life. They took Say So P's life because he was the target. From what they are saying, he was the target. I wasn't there. Don't quote me on that, because I know a lot of y'all like to go back and say, oh, he don't know what he's talking about. Well, obviously I do. Because I see exactly how these guys were moving in the streets, and it was sloppy and it was careless, right? Right. So rappers need to do better. When it comes to moving around, rappers need to do better. When it comes to getting around, y'all need to do better. Y'all got all this money, and I just don't understand this. You got all this money, but you don't plan for the inevitable, do you? You don't plan for when somebody gets to drop on you. You know that you're posting your location. You're posting pictures on the gram. You're flexing on everybody. There's people out there that are jealous of you. You got ops. You got people that just don't like you, period. They don't even have to be your ops. They just don't like you. They don't like you. And so they will take the chance. They will try you. Any chance that they get to try you, that's exactly what they're going to do. And instead of you moving militantly, instead of you moving in a better way, being more vigilant when you're out there in these streets, you're moving carelessly. You're moving carelessly. You're not observing. You're not watching your surroundings. You don't have people watching your back. Oh, and that's another thing. You should always have a car that is following you. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? You should always, if you're a rapper, you should always have a car that is following you with 4 men in it. 4 men who are what? Strapped, right? 4 men who are ready to go. Because let's say they had a vehicle, another vehicle sitting behind the Cadillac, right? Guess what they would have seen? They would have saw the car. They would have seen the car pull up, the Charger, the white Charger pull up. They would have seen this. Soon as they would have seen these guys hop out, what are they supposed to do? Their job. They're supposed to be on go, so they're supposed to do their jobs. Oh yes, y'all move what? Y'all move with killers, right? Y'all move with YNs who don't care. Isn't that what y'all say? You can't tell me that you're rapping about this stuff and you're not living it. So you're supposed to have a car with four guys in the back of your vehicle. They follow you everywhere that you go. Just in case your car gets what? Cut off on the road. Oh, as soon as your car gets cut off, they're supposed to put their car in park, hop out, and be on go as well. That's your protection. You're the money. They're supposed to protect the money. Protect the bag, right? Right. But y'all have so much money, and y'all seem to not mind losing your lives. And you know what you lose your life over? Some bullshit. Some stupid argument. Some dumb song that you made against somebody else. Yeah, stupid stuff. But Say So P, from what they're saying, he ran off with 200,000 from the plug. Yeah. That's a lot to that's a lot of money not to play with. Oh yeah. I know people who've been murked for less, and you ran off with 200K. Holy yo. And you see why these guys did what they did? Somebody definitely hired them. And then they fired them. Literally. Because those men have been said to be found deleted themselves. Yes, the ones who went on the drill, the ones who murked Say So P are said to be deceased. So they did the job, but then they got fired shortly after. They were given their pink slip. Literally. Until next time.
If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.